Hey, it's Andrzej on Software. One of my last episodes was about the 80 characters limit per line of code as a guideline, and I listed some arguments why I think it's actually a good guideline, but not as a specific rule. But then I received a nice comment on Twitter from John Attack, and John said, "You described this exactly how I see it. Also helps parity between people with big screens in the office and nomads on a 13 inches screens." Which was a very good point as an addition to this discussion about 80 characters, but overall it creates another interesting topic. Many of developers do enjoy their life as nomads. They bring their 13-inch laptop somewhere with them, they travel to different countries, they change time zones, but doesn't mean that they stop working. Many of them do work along the way as part of their travels. And given that RTNC was always remote, and it was what we call async very early, we want to be friendly to this kind of environment. We want to be friendly to people traveling. I think it puts responsibility on both sides. You can be traveling, you can enjoy great views, but you also have to be a responsible person. If you are in the project and you promise to work during this time, then you have to take care of how to find a stable network, even access to power to charge your laptop. Those are the things that you have to be responsible for, and I would expect this from any responsible person. But on the other side, if a company says they are async remote friendly, then it means certain things. It means that a nomad can I like to call it a working session. I don't like to think in days of work anymore. I like to think in sessions term. So when they plan to start a working session, it's good that if they also prepare to that so that they know they are not blocked on anything, but also the process in the company, in the project, should allow this, that when they join the work session now, they have all the information needed that for what can they work on as the next task, or they can help with that. They can help with splitting the tasks into smaller ones. So the idea of nomads and working synchronously and remotely means that usually you can have a different time schedule and different working sessions. So there might be less overlap with sync time when we are both online on the same project than we would be traditionally. Which is a nice challenge, but it's not an impossible challenge. I've been talking about the single backlog idea, always take the task from the top, which from a nomad perspective is a very simple rule. I'm not required to be thinking about priorities right now. I can just take the first task. Also, it means that if the tasks are small, then the nomad can just take the tasks, and there is a chance that he will finish it in one working session, meaning several hours, maybe 2 working sessions. If the task is not too short, then this nomad person can actually help splitting it and extracting the most important value and start working on that and move the other parts later on in the backlog. Also, it means that we need to have access to all the information in a written form or some kind of async form like screencasts or some recordings of a meeting. Which means you can't really expect to have meetings in your room somewhere in your office, if you have an office, and expect that the nomad will know what happens. And the listening to recorded sessions is also not a super effective way of them catching up. Listening to voice is slower than reading text. So some kind of transcripts, some kind of points as an addition to the recording are important. Or if you are like us and everyone is some other place of, right now we have people from Ukraine, from Poland. One developer was working for a short time from Brazil recently. So we are in different areas, and for me it's even almost like an offensive thing to ask, where are you right now? Even if I'm a boss, it's they shouldn't care. It's not obviously we're friends, so it's okay for me to know, but it's not an expectation that it's important to me where are people now. As long as they have good network connection, they are delivering the work. This is what is most important, and we see more and more companies like that. I think GitLab is working this way. Basecamp is working. They were pioneers of this working this way. So this is not so new anymore. So nomad-driven development as a term, we called it so far async remote. Nomads, it doesn't mean also, just to be clear, that if you work async and remote, it's kind of expected that you're a nomad. For example, it is not my style of living. This is not the lifestyle I would choose now in my current situation. It's not tempting to me to be traveling and working from weird locations. But I know that there was a time in my life where this was my dream, and I did that also too. So that was great to be able to do it. But many people like me, I do enjoy some other parts of being able to work remotely and asynchronously. Given that I have kids, family, I want to spend time with them, so I can do it whenever I choose to, and I can prepare and plan my working sessions when I want. I also decided to live in a small village, very close to the forest, very close to the nature. This is like my way of life, and working remotely and asynchronously allowed me to do it. So I'm not a nomad. I'm far from it. But the way of working that we've built around us is definitely nomad friendly. But as I said at the beginning, it does put a lot of responsibilities for the nomad person. They need to ensure that they provide the kind of minimal important requirements, like the network connection in a good format, a good form, some kind of conditions, working in a place where you're effective. If you prefer to live in quiet places, then you can't really expect to be effective in coffee shops all the time. So that's something also to be careful. But I think that that whole trend, we'll see more and more about nomads and more about async and remote in software development, because why not? Thanks for listening.